the man everybody calls Bashorun. But I won't call him the name that we know on screen. I will say Bashorun Femi Branch, as many I want to call him now. Welcome, Bashorun, everything, doctor. So before we go into the questions, and I know that there are a lot of questions I want to ask him, I'm going to read a profile that I have of him here. So Femi Branch is a Nigerian actor, director, producer, and a politician who contested for deputy governor during the 2023 general elections in Ogun State. Wow, that's a fantastic one. Branch is from Ogun State. He was born May 14, 1970. He attended the Obafemi Awolowo University, where he studied religious studies. He later obtained a Bachelor of Art degree in Dramatic Arts. Femi Branch started his career with theatre in Obafemi Awolowo University in 1991 before transitioning to on-screen actor. The same year, he featured in a Yoruba stage play titled Eniyan. He later featured in a movie titled Orisun, produced by the staff members of Obafemi Awolowo University. But his first appearance on television was in 2003 in an MTN group television commercial titled Dance With Me. He appeared in the role of Oscar in a soap opera titled Domino. He has appeared in over 100 Nigerian films. I'm sure it's more by the time we are talking to
500.
over 500. Oh wow.
Where'd you get that from?
A film which he produced and directed himself. In 2024, Branch starred in Farmer's Bride, a Nigerian produced drama. Femi Branch is also known for his versatility in different roles, and he has also won several awards for his performance over the years. And more recently, the film he starred in claimed 6 nominations in the AMVCAs, that was released early in the week or last week. Welcome to the studio, Mr. Branch.
Thank you very much.
So, before we get to the AMVCAs, which I really want to talk about personally, I want you to tell us how it has been. So, a lot of times when theatre actors go on screen, there's a tendency for people to say that they overact because the directions they give you on stage is different from what people expect to see on screen. On screen, it seems that you do less. How was it for you transitioning from stage to screen?
I think the actors, it does happen that stage actors, when they cross over to screen acting, but I would like to say it's only those that were not well trained. Because yes, the difference between stage and screen is that stage is live. It's right there. There's no cut. It's live. You are there. So then with stage, it has to be larger than life because you are standing there, you're in front of the audience and all that. You do not have the advantage of having editors having edited what you acted or CGI or all of that. It is raw, live. They're seeing it. Yes, you do have lights and all that, but there's so much you can do as regards effects when it comes to stage. So then, of course, with stage, you also have, it's your voice. It's natural. You are projecting. Although these days they use microphones on stage and all of that.
You don't agree with it?
Unless it's a musical.
Okay.
If it's not a musical, the microphones have no business being on stage unless the hall has very bad acoustics. So if the acoustics of the hall are not good, then you will need mics definitely. Like Ajib Hall in
Moson Center.
In Moson, you definitely, because it was not purpose built for theater.
Okay.
You understand? So it's a recital hall. So that's why you need microphone if you are doing a theater there. So when a stage actor has to act, he does not use sound accompaniment, so he uses voice, he learns to project. So when he gets behind the cameras now, where you now have a mic pinned to him, if he's not well trained to understand that, okay, fine, you're not using a different medium, and he now starts, so he has to tone it down. Even the action and everything too has to be toned down because you have so many embellishments now as against when it's on stage. So that's what that difference is. Okay, I've said so much. I forgot what your question was.
What was the transition like for you?
It wasn't. I think for me, the challenging part of the transition would be breaking in. You understand? Not the acting part of it. Okay. I never had a problem with the acting part of it. I got trained by I call him the best. I call him one of the best, by the best, which is Professor Olori. So that was my mentor. So I got all I needed So that transition wasn't hard, but it was breaking into the industry. Because then we had, there was this thing between, okay, we used to see ourselves as the real actors, the stage actors, all these screen actors, and so we used to look down on them a lot that time, as if we didn't want to have anything to do with Nollywood films. We felt it was an insult for me as a stage actor. But after that, you realize that you fool yourself, that kind of thing, you understand?
So are you saying it was money that led you to Nollywood?
Money wasn't the motivation for anybody back then, really. Not money. It's you just wanted to work. It was the hunger, you understand, to practice all you've been learning and all that. That was what motivated us. Even till now, I mean, that's really the motivation. If you're good at what you do and you're diligent and everything, I believe that the fame will find you, the money will find you one way or the other. It might take long. Some will don't take long, some will take long. So then you really have no control over that aspect. So the best I think you can do for yourself is to just be good at what you do. Keep improving on your craft every day and be diligent. The Bible says, "See that a man diligent at his work will sit before kings and not mere men." So that has always been my motto. So that's it.
So let's talk about the AMVCs and your nomination your nomination in the category of Best Actor in a movie. It was quite expected. I mean, you pulled off a fantastic performance in House of God. You were nominated alongside some other great people and some other great films. I mean, so when you got the script for House of God, what was your first reaction to the script?
I mean, I was beyond excited. I mean, there was a lot of build-up to getting these scripts for it. So it was getting... I think the process should be more when you were informed that you were going.
Okay, when you were informed.
That was actually the... Yeah, by the time I got the script, everything had come down a bit. So it was actually getting the role itself. And it's funny, and I said that earlier today, that House of Girls is a very, very unique project in so many ways to me personally, because isn't it funny that after spending, this is my 36th year in the industry, as at the time we shot House of God, it was my 34th or 30th, going into my 35th year in the industry, and most of those years were spent in the Yoruba movie industry. And it's very funny that when I will now get this big role in this big epic Yoruba film, I was casted by an English director for it. It's very funny. Because the Yoruba producers didn't see me as a Yoruba speaking actor.
And then your name is Femi Branch.
It's funny. It's funny, because even when I was in the Yoruba movie industry, I usually got the roles of this returnee guy, this guy who just come out from London or from UK or from Kenya. So I was always switching accents from American accent to British accent, And
do you think it was because you were well spoken?
I don't know. They're in the best position to answer that. I came from the English. That was after I had done the big commercial. Let me not mention the name of the brand, so I don't do free advert. So I don't go right now. Anyway, so it was after doing that big telecom advert. So then after Domino and all that. So I mean, I started from English before crossing over to. So I think it was no for them somehow. They thought, okay, is this English actor they're bringing to us, so they have to give him this role where he has to start speaking English and everything. It was really annoying. Even when they give me roles to play kings and everything, it's still a king that just came back from America. One guy that just came back from America come and become king. So the first solid project that is Yoruba epic that I will do in my life was produced by an English producer. And that's like the biggest Yoruba speaking role I've ever played in my life. So and it was done outside of the Yoruba movie industry. I mean, it's really ironical, But I was beyond excited that because a lot of people discouraged Bonale Osi Peters from casting me for the role. A lot of people discouraged her. They were like, Femi Branch, yeah, it's a good actor, but this character, can he carry it? Can he? And if you know Bonale Osi Peters well, you will know her that once she makes up her mind like this, it will take God inviting her for dinner and sitting down and say, Olori Farabale, before she can change her mind. If not, she's one-way traffic. And I think it's because a lot goes into her thought process. I mean, she doesn't just make flimsy or spontaneous decisions and everything. She has known me for years. I have worked with her on stage on different productions. So she knows my mettle. She knows what I can do to a great extent. She knows my strength as an actor. She knows my weaknesses as an actor. So, because even in preparing for Ga, we started rehearsals. We had rehearsals for Ga. She took sensitive scenes, the most powerful scenes in the film, and we rehearsed them at Tora Culture. When we got to set in Ekpe, we also rehearsed some of those scenes as well. And those are the scenes that people are talking about. You understand? So it's a process. So I am happy and I'm content and I'm not surprised about anything that is coming my way right now because of House of God, because we worked. I know projects that if I get this kind of nomination, I'll be like, well, but not House of God. Blood and sweat and tears went into House of God. So what would have been unfair is for not to have gotten. I mean, I'm happy. Yeah, it's a competition, I think.
It's a viewer's choice award.
Yeah, but it's not a voting category, so the judges are going to get to decide, which I'm happy about. Really, I'm really happy about it because when people vote, sometimes they can be very sentimental. No, it's the truth. I was so relieved when I heard it was a non-voting category. Oh no, I was like, oh god, because people like who they like. You can't question them. Yeah. So whether you did well, you don't do it. They like if they like Femi Branch. He was not the better. I don't care. It's Femi Branch that will win it. So but when it's the judges, these are like having your peers judge you. You understand? So I think that's like the best, and that's why to get best actor, I believe that's like the greatest honor because it is professionals that judge that category. So I'm happy, I'm content. So whatever comes out as a result, I'm good. The fact that I'm even nominated at all, at least it shows that okay, we did something good, we did something right with House of God. If we get the award, that's the cherry on the cake. I pray we do. We better get that award. Anyway, that's just.
Okay, so speaking again about House of God, I was very a lot of times when people have to play roles in, I don't want to call it a regular biopic because it's not just a biopic anymore. They find it difficult to play outside of the character. Ga was a big character, very big. What part of him did you tap into to interpret that role? Because of course everybody knows Ga as the Bashon. And then we saw Ga as a family man. We saw him as so many other things.
Right.
Which is why I said he was a big character. What part of him did you have to, channel to pull off that and interpret that character?
Yeah. Thank you. I'm glad you said Ga was a big character. I mean that's so aptly.
Did you know of Ga beforehand?
Oh, of course. I mean the average Yoruba person knows about Bashorun Ga, of Oyo, but we knew him as this bad guy, this very wicked, heartless, horrible person that was just killing kings anyhow, changing kings like a child changes diapers and all that, But when I got the role, I did my research. When I was doing my own personal research, which in this case was really vast, because I had to read up a whole lot of articles. I read up a whole lot of theses by different students who I could, their what do they call it, on him. I read and I saw so many varying opinions. A lot of people thought that he was actually a reformer. They thought he was an activist. Some people thought he was a social, whatever, And I saw that there was a lot more written about him being a reformist than actually being a bad guy. And that shocked me, because the only part where that gets sold to us is the bad guy part and everything, which of course he was not a very nice person. No doubt about that. And but in getting into the character, I understood that right now I can't say whether that guy was a bad guy or but I can definitely tell you that guy was not really a good guy. You understand?
Not really.
Yeah, because
not really.
Yeah, even a lot of things that those that wrote about him, the being a reformer and everything. A lot of the good things he even did was born out of it was out of selfish. It was what's the word? Yeah, you understand? It was for his own personal. He was not thinking of the good of the people. You understand what I'm saying? It's just like okay, you become the president now. You understand? I'm a kingmaker. You understand? All the powerful people in Nigeria, you stop president. And I thought that when I put you in, you're going to do well. And why is everybody smiling? There's nothing political in what I'm saying. Right
we'll get to that.
I take God beg
We'll
you.
get to that.
I take God beg you. You understand? So I then install you think you're going to be a good president, and you not get there, and you are now a very bad president. You understand? And normally I would expect that as president, you listen to what I say you should do. You do things that favor me and everything. Now you are not favoring me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, I can confidently say, let me use the case of River State. That's safer for me because I don't know what's going to throw you people's minds. So, let's look at what was happening in River State. Now, see Wiki as Bashorunga.
Okay.
You understand? See Fubara as Yalafi. You understand? Now, because the Alafi is not favoring Ga, the guy of River State. You understand? Hey, good God, I'm smelling headlines.
Please keep going because I was going to take you to the political aspect of the film.
But I'm just talking about the film now.
Yeah, very aware. We're very aware.
So I'm trying to say that. Okay, so he saw that. Okay, because in this case, it's not really the story is not really the same anyway.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
Now, in that case, now let's say the Alafin is now wicked. You know, he now treats the people anyhow. He doesn't deliver on his promises to the people before he became Alaafin and everything, and people don't really like him, you know. But if there's something they can do is the Alaafin, they have to endure him till he dies. But then there's this power somewhere that can actually do something about it, which is Ga. And because the power is not favoring Ga, the Ga is not favoring the power, which is Ga. And he also knows, so it's a plus for him that the people don't like him. So it's like, okay, fine, let's get rid of this guy and everything. So he gets rid of the guy not because people don't like him, but because he doesn't like him, he's not paying him. But now he gets an added bonus. People are not happy that he actually got rid of the guy. And they're like, hey, watch your guy. So and he's like, okay, you like what I did? Okay, that's nice. Okay, yeah, I did it for you people. You know, I did it for you. You know, because but he actually did it for himself. So that's actually why I think some people thought he was a good guy, and that he was actually trying to bring about change and blah 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 blah. But he wasn't. So I had to now my acting style is internalization, which is a theory propounded by Stanislavski. You know, that style makes you go into that character such that you forget yourself. You do not exist again immediately you get into that character. Now, this technique is so intense that after finishing that performance, sometimes it takes months for you to get out of it and get back to your normal self.
Did it take months for you?
It took about 2 or 3. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. You know, because, I mean, I remember times when we were on set. I remember Tony said it. I think it's even Tony. Yeah, Tony said it. Funke even said it one time as well. That, Tony, you know, Tony is a clown. So she just noticed my sister, so she normally sits on my left, I think. Then Funke sits on my right. Funke sits on my left, on my right, and she sits on my right. So I'll just turn and I'll just, because when we are on set, when we're about to shoot, me, I'm already in character. So some people are still playing around, you know, but me, I'm already there, you know. So sometimes when they throw a joke my way, I just smile like that, I just go back. So the date we just went, calm down. And I was already, you know, it's like you are sorry, you are taking on, somebody just pulls your leg and throws you back to your leg, when they calm down, and I look at her and I'm like, oh Lord, what's your problem? Hey, can't get me. Forgot to say that someday, I think we're in the holding area or something like that. You're like, that's the way you are just, the way, you know, it's crazy. I was also on set one day and I was just sitting down. I was just in the same zone. And Femi was the scene where I think they brought our junior brother Latif after I went to go and, you know, and we're getting ready for the scene. And Femi was sitting there, and I just, cause then I just happened to just look in his direction. I just saw him just staring at me, and then our eyes just looked, and he just smiles. And I'm like, and he's like, what's it go? So it was now reminding me of the very first production we did. Was it the first or the second? I think it was the first production we did together in Ijebu there, Naira Hotel. It was like, you know, so such things, when I later I think about it, I'm like, okay, you know. So it shows that okay, maybe I was getting it right and everything, because most of the time my fellow actors on set could not connect with Femi Branch. You understand? So it took, and for me, it took a lot for me to come back down, play around and everything. But I was so into it that once they say, oh yeah, like this, bam, while they are still taking maybe like a minute or two to get into it, man, I don't, bam, my fuse was like that, you know. And it's because I chose the easiest part of the family man part was easy for me. So there was no way I could plug into the guy character through that. Then I'll be struggling to now meet up with the bad guy. So for me, I had to connect through the bad guy.
Okay. Okay, so let's go a bit away from that. In this age of, there are so many platforms where people put films on now. Too many. And every filmmaker is like a filmmaker's paradise now in Nigeria today. But I noticed that you at one time spoke about unfair cinema practices. Can you shed more light on that? Because at the time you were talking about cinema practitioners, cinemas promoting some films more than some other films. Do you think that thing is that bad? Is that big? What's your take on it? Please shed more light on that.
Interesting. Well. Well, the thing is this. Because there's a whole lot of conversation that has gone on after that. After I made that outburst, there have been some enlightenment.
What brought the outburst?
But no. Let me. I'm not rescinding. I'm not going back on anything I said.
Okay.
So don't be scared. I'm just saying there's a whole lot that has gone on. There's a little understanding, you know. So it's not like I totally bought what was dished out, because of course whoever you're accusing to will come and defend themselves and say no, this is why. But I think for me the main thing I took off of that was that the cinema proprietors are business people.
Yes.
Do you understand? So I was speaking from the viewpoint of seeing them like part of the industry. I don't know if you understand that, you know, you are not, because what I said was that you're not helping us, you're not helping and truly they are not, you know. But I just saw, I think it was on the group I am, and I just saw, I don't know whether it was one of these, I don't know, somebody else said that, look, the mistake we're making is we're thinking they're business people. They are business people. It's just like the person that is selling camera or selling lights and everything. If Funke Akindele goes there and buys and orders, okay, maybe the guy has 10 cameras. You understand now?
Yeah.
Let's say Funke Akindele, I'm intentionally using these names now. Let's say Funke Akindele wants to produce a movie, and let's say Messi Aibe also wants to produce a movie. You understand? And both of them need five. Let's say they need 10 cameras. Okay. So Funke Akindele goes there and buys the 10 cameras. He got there first. Do you understand? Maybe the guy now says, I can't really tell you the whole 10, because I still have 1 or 2 clients that go, okay, but I can sell you 7. And she buys 7, and maybe she even convinces the guy to even sell her an 8th one. Messi now gets there. Once the guys like, I'm sorry, but you know that we're both. Why did you go and sell all the camera? At least, you should have sold 5 to her and reserved 5 for me and everything. And the guys like, babe, how do I even know you will still come, chef? I mean, it's business. You understand? So this is how these things work. It is business. So you can't blame the Funke Akindele that goes there and pays. She paid for a service and she got it. So you can't blame her. Do you understand? They have their own individual marketing strategies. Do you understand? So if one person's marketing strategy happens to be more effective than yours, then maybe just mean you go back to the drawing board and just sit and strategize on something more. You know, but what I was saying then was that it was not because if we are all patronizing you, because that's why I now said, okay, let me now agree that they are business people truly. Okay, so we are all patronizing you, so we are all your customers. Yes, you will have your favorite customers, you will have your whatever, but we are still all your customers. So why would you be removing my own advert from the Kene? Because those are the ones that me I'm criticizing. It's better you don't take my work. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is me understanding now that yes, the cinemas are business people. They're not a charity organization. They're not there to help anybody. They're not there. Fine, no problem. So we're doing business. Okay, beautiful. So if your business is to receive my film and put it on the screen, I'm paying for that because it's not free. You are getting a percentage of my gate. So we're doing business. It's a partnership. Do you understand? So if there's a partnership like that, and you're getting paid for it or remunerated for it one way or the other, so why should you now sabotage me? Because it is sabotage if you are removing my publicity material from the gimmick and leaving somebody else's own. It is sabotage if you are wearing the t-shirt of one other person and not wearing my own. So maybe I didn't tell you to wear my t-shirt, or maybe fine. So let's also leave that in that angle. Say, okay, fine.
I was going to say.
You understand? But for me, the one I saw that triggered that reaction was that they were taking people's cards, hiding it. Mm-hmm. In some other cases, they were recommending films to people. You understand? So, like I said, I've understood that, okay, fine, maybe that's the own way of just doing business. Because if you see that there's a product that is selling more than the other product. Because let's also understand that even though it's a partnership between all of us, if you're selling Pepsi and you're selling Coca-Cola now, and your Coca-Cola is selling more, you'll be putting more of your investment fund on buying more Coca-Cola now. It is the product that is selling more that you'll be spending more money on, not the one that is not selling. Can you see how I'm trying to balance the whole thing?
Yeah, balance it. Fantastic.
I'm a very emotional person. When I just but now I'm learning.
I'm beginning to see the guy in you.
Nah, that's not the guy will not balance. It was God that spoke the first time.
Okay, so I'm going to take you to another controversy that you have been, that your name has been prominent in. So, okay. You remember recently when there was this the Ibadan Stampede tragedy where 35 children lost their lives, and the police arrested Olori Naomi and Queen Naomi and Oriomi Amzat at the time. You spoke very vocally about it. I'm going to read something to you, an excerpt from some of the things you said. Okay. You said, "This is not me trying to be insensitive about the plight of children who died.
Right.
It is very tragic. If the purpose is to blame those people responsible for the deaths, how is it the organizer? According to the reports, people slept overnight. They were throwing their children over the fence. How is it the fault of the organizers? Is it a problem to do good in this country right now because we are dealing with so much? And the people, once in a while, from the little they have, also touch lives. I think people need to speak up about this. Why have the police not fished out those parents who threw their children over the fence and also charged them? Because as far as I'm concerned, they are the offenders, not the organizers." That sparked another set of conversation about the issue at the time. Yes, all the parties have been released and the issue is dying down, so to speak. But it's still a major issue that you raised at the time. What's still your submission at this time now? What do you really think now that at least the dust has cleared a bit and everybody is, less passionate about the issue?
Yes. First of all, I want to thank God. I'm not thanking anybody for withdrawing any case. Let me not even go there. I'm not thanking anybody because I see they shouldn't even have gone to that level at all. Because some people just took it and just turned it personal. Turned it to an opportunity to do their own personal vendetta. So I'm not thanking anybody for withdrawing any case because there shouldn't even have been one in the first place. But I just want to thank God that, these people that were punished unduly at least got their freedom. You understand? I think the case was yanked out, was thrown out. I thank God for that, See, here's the truth. Let's not forget about all of that drama that happened. Trust me, it had far less to do with the actual tragedy. Trust me. So that's why I don't want to talk about it because I have a whole lot of information. I know, so let's not even go there. But talking about that kind of thing and how we will not have a reoccurrence, because truly, yes, the number one weapon that these people, these elites, in quote now, are using to hold people down is hunger. Hunger has been weaponized in this country to such an extent that, when people see crumbs, they are ready to trample on their own child just to get a hold of those crumbs. And it was systemic, it was intentional. The political class intentionally weaponized hunger against the people so that anytime they need anything from them, it becomes easy for them to get. All they have to do is just throw some crumbs their way and they get them to dance to whatever tune they want them to dance to. This is why you see that during the election, that's when they come out donating bread, giving out rice, giving out this and everything. And notice that they never give it out in good quantity. They give it out in small quantity so that you will continue to be in need. You will continue. That's just to assuage that hunger for a couple of days. Because when they come back, or when the next contestant comes back to that same place, it is still the same set of people that will still come out to meet him. I saw this live during the elections. It is the same set of people. This set of people will come to this contestant. We are from so and so place. I do believe in your clinical. We are with you. Don't worry. All those will know how to tackle. They will collect their money. Thank you. God bless you. As they are leaving your house, they are going to the next contestant's house. And that is how they're going to make the rounds. So the people who are the real political jobbers, the real politicians, they know them. So they know how to get them. So they will allow them to do their normal rounds. They will not discourage them. So they know how to now. It's just to incentivize them. They know that it's the highest bidder thing, that kind of thing. So I'm deviating from the question anyway. But the truth of the matter is that in that case, I asked that question, and I still stand by that question. Why didn't the police investigate the parents that threw their kids? Why in the hell? I do not see the hunger that I will be hungry, that I will carry my daughter or my son and throw him or her over the fence. Over a fence. No, it's like you don't understand what I'm saying. You don't even know what's on the other side of the fence. And I throw the piggy over the fence. Excuse me. And then the pikin now dies. You are now blaming somebody else. Are you mental? Are you alright? Those parents, they crazy. I'm sorry. I'm still maintaining it. They are grieving, but they have no right to grieve. I'm sorry to say it. It's like you kill someone. You can't put for your pikin. They kill them by yourself. You can't tell me say they grieve. They meant. What kind of nonsense grief is that? They kill those kids. They are the ones that kill those kids. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying that. Look. Hunger is such a powerful thing. So in this case now, I'm not even going to dwell so much on the parents that did the whatever, the kidney that did the, or who's to blame, who's to whatever. The truth of the matter is that hunger has been weaponized to such an extent that you cannot even really blame anybody for how anybody reacts to it. Because it is me slapping you now, and now also trying to tell you how you should react to the slap. You understand? I slap you and you say, yeah, police can't say gay or out. You only get pass, you You understand? It is you that knows how the slap entered and where it entered. So I cannot determine. So it's like you made the people you've impoverished them, and you're now saying, fine, we know you are impoverished, but you should not now misbehave to the level of now throwing your children over fence. Because hunger sometimes they cause colo. You get the way you go hungry reach. No, that's the only way I can excuse those parents. So that's the only way I can excuse that. Okay, maybe let me try and understand their situation. Hunger, they could reach level where you say they cause mental breakdown, as in make somebody to lose their mind. But I want to bet that those parents that threw their children were not that hungry. You have to go.
Okay,
I can bear anything with you that they were not that hungry.
Why do you say that?
I low. Somebody about get video here. Can go video of actually when those things were happening. If they can locate those parents and find it, because who are the people that go for all these things? Now all these people, I remember when they sell bread, sell rice for the area, sell kineko, sell zobo, then when they hawk this, hawk that, and everything. These people still manage to eat, even though they are not eating quality food that they eat. Because the only person that I will expect to do that, telling me, we understand, is Korean there's nothing. We are continuing for the past 3-4 days. So I go balance, one go fluid or flow, one also go only reason normally. So anything that person does, you want to say is not, because if they carry that kind of parent now, if they take that person to court, what are going to call a check sanity any? No, I'm talking. No, this is the law now. True. The first thing is you want to check the. It's just like in Lagos, when they catch you from some kind of traffic offenses, they first say that you want to check your brain. Because you'll be like, for you to drive, like you left the road, you now went and drove and
like on pedestrian, when you drive on the pedestrian walk.
Wherever they go, see, the Lagos State government that said that they should be doing that, they know what they are. They know what they are saying. Because it will take a. Even me too, let me confess. There are some things I would drive sometimes. Me too, I would like, Femi, oh no man. Do you understand? But we're dealing with so so much frustration in this country. People are just on edge. They're so angry. Everybody's so tense. Maybe your wife don't frustrate him before he come out house or landlord, or maybe he had to fly through the window before he left the house, dodging landlord. So now he's now start for boss upon that son has melted half of his brain, and he's just there. He knows that when he gets to the work, his boss is going to also fry the remaining half. He's just thinking how to think. He's like, he doesn't have money to eat lunch. You know, he's sitting with so much, and then one guy just comes and just match his toe at the bus stop. What kind of reaction?
You paint a vivid picture, a very vivid picture.
So when he reacts in that situation, when they come there, it's just your throwing match. I don't need that.
Oh my God! We are steadily running out of time, so I'm going to divert this conversation away from that. Okay. You seem very passionate about many of these things. Is that one of the reasons that led you to, go into politics? Because at the time, I had thought that you were going to maybe return to politics, like a number of your colleagues have done over the years.
See, the unfortunate thing is, a few of us that have done it, we've not done incredibly. We've just not tried. I would actually want to praise Desmond Elliott. Yeah. Because he's one person that has actually been very consistent with it. And I think the problem that Desmond has had over time, because he's my brother, apart from being my colleague, we talk and everything. I think it's just probably it's poor PR. You understand? Then because I know a lot of things that he's doing, you understand, in that constituency and everything. Then there's also the possibility of, sometimes when you are under a particular orga on the political ladder and everything, and maybe that's the head of the whole place. When you do some things, they don't even give you credit for what you do. They give the credit to the orga.
Of course. Okay.
So.
Okay. Okay.
So as I was saying, so I would tell you that this one is doing very well. I cannot say more than that, but remember what I said before I said that. Okay. So now,
you in politics.
Me in politics now is me now, because over time I've criticized a lot. I've written I think 2 plays that have been basically criticizing Nigerian politics, the satires and everything. I've written several poems that have treated the same thing. I thought, okay, this is the power that I have. Let me use the pen and everything. Okay, then let me use my voice or go on social media. I felt that because some of these are guy up there, they are motherfuckers. They don't send. Talk from now till they will be carrying the phone, looking at Femi Branch. You want to comment for politics? They're like, yeah, kill about politics. That's how they view what we do. All these are why people say why celebrities not talking, why they not getting got. When we do, that is how it is. Only when it comes to some very serious issues that maybe there's enough noise, then they are just embarrassed into doing something. Or maybe doing something pays them one way or the other. Because that's the only time they react, when they trying to gain something from it. Maybe gain some clout, gain some positive reviews or whatever. Aside from that, they don't send. So it's because I felt that I needed to put my money where my mouth is. I needed to walk the talk. And we cannot make any positive change outside. That was the same thing that made us to come into Nollywood from being stage actors, because we found out that we cannot make change. We're criticizing so many things in Nollywood then. We cannot make any change from outside. If truly we know better, as we claim we did then why don't you come in and do? So the same thing I felt that a lot of us that are doing so much talking outside need to get into the system, join the political party, be a part of it, because that's the only time you can, that's the only way you can actually make any change. You cannot make any change from talking in this country, trust me.
Okay, so because we have very little time, I'm going to ask you a final question, and you're going to answer in 1 minute. So a lot of stars now have YouTube channels where they promote their own films, they do their own films. A lot of actors now have become filmmakers. We see the likes. In fact, I used to think it was just women, but now we see men too having YouTube channels,
Yes.
doing their thing. You have a YouTube channel, like I had said, but you don't use it much for a lot of films and all that. Do you plan to revive it, and what's the plan? What are you working on right now?
Oh yes, definitely, because a lot of us slept on YouTube. A lot of us slept. I was one, if I may, I slumbered seriously, But we don't they wake up, because we don't they see some doings. We don't they happen for that side. And I just sat down and just looked at how many YouTube films I do in a year, and I see how. Okay, look at someone like Omoni Oboli.
Yeah.
Omoni Oboli was one of the latecomers. She too didn't plug into the whole YouTube thing from, but she, you know what? When Omoni enter, she enter. You understand? She will enter fire. Look at her page now today, and you are still asking me what I want to do with my YouTube. Ask me again. Ask me by the end of the year. You know what I want to do with my YouTube. We're already creating content and everything.
So what are you working on right now?
Well, the one I'm working on right now is actually a cinema job. Yeah, it's actually there. Cinema, Netflix, whichever one, but definitely cinema. Yeah, that's what I'm working on now. But I've done some that are VOD for Oloflix.
Oh.
Yeah, it's on Oloflix. It's a pay-per-view, online cinema. Yeah, it's Oloflix. So I've done 2 movies for them, Elenio and The Streets Are Wise, which were released last year. Okay. So yeah, we still have another big one coming up this year as well. So we're cooking.
Okay. Thank you very much for talking to us. That's all the time we have, and we hope that when your new films are coming out, when you start doing great things on YouTube, that you'll come back and talk to us again. So, our audience, it was a fantastic time with Nollywood on Radio, and we hope to see you next week. Stay tuned. Don't touch that dial.